Go ahead, take a look at your hand. It feels solid, doesn't it? But what if I told you it's almost entirely empty space, held together by forces we're just starting to grasp? The reality you take for granted is just the surface layer. And underneath, that's where things get weird. Science has found truths that seem to shatter the very rules of the universe. From the mind-bending origin of the air you are breathing to an invisible ghost holding our entire galaxy together, get ready to see the world in a whole new way. So, you think you've got a handle on how the world works? Think again. We're about to reveal scientific truths that sound more like science fiction, facts that flip our whole perception of reality on its head. In this video, we're exploring the science that breaks the rules of reality. Section 1. The Cosmic Ghost, Holding the Universe Together. Let's start with the biggest rule breaker of them all. When you look up at the night sky, you see stars and galaxies, all spinning in a cosmic dance. But there was a huge problem, a terrifying one. Back in the 1970s, astronomers like the incredible Vera Rubin were measuring how fast galaxies spin, and they found something that should be totally impossible. Galaxies are spinning so fast that the gravity from all their visible matter, the stars, the gas, the dust, isn't nearly strong enough to keep them from flying apart. Based on our understanding, they should have torn themselves to pieces ages ago, flinging their stars into the lonely darkness of space. So why are they still here? What's the invisible glue holding it all together? The answer is one of the biggest mysteries in all of science: dark matter. And it's called dark for a reason. It's not just a cool name. It's dark because it doesn't interact with light in any way. It doesn't absorb, reflect, or emit anything, which means it's completely invisible to all our instruments. We can only see it by the way its immense gravity pulls on the things we can see. It's like a cosmic ghost. You can't see it or touch it, but you can see its effects everywhere. In the elegant spin of a galaxy or how light from distant stars bends as it passes by. And here's the part that really messes with your head. Everything we've ever known, from the tiniest atom to the biggest star, the stuff that makes up you, me, and this planet, accounts for only about 5% of the known universe. Around 27% is this invisible, mysterious substance. Put another way, roughly 85% of all the matter in the cosmos is dark matter. It creates a massive, invisible skeleton for the universe, and galaxies are just the glittering structures built inside of it. The vast majority of our universe is made of something we've never seen and can't explain. We're all living inside the architecture of a ghost. Section 2. The Shocking Origin of the Air You Breathe. Okay, let's pull back from the cosmic scale and talk about something a little closer to home. Something you're doing right now. Breathing. If I asked you where most of the oxygen on Earth comes from, you'd probably say the Amazon rainforest, right? That's what most of us are taught. And it makes sense, but it's not the full story. Not even close. The truth is, more than half of the oxygen produced on our planet comes from the ocean. No, not from whales or fish. It comes from phytoplankton, tiny, drifting plants and bacteria that create energy from sunlight. And in this massive, invisible forest, one tiny organism is the real MVP. It's a bacterium called Prochlorococcus. It's the smallest photosynthesizing organism on Earth, so small you could fit over 20,000 of them in a single drop of seawater. And yet, this one microscopic species is responsible for producing up to 20% of the oxygen for the entire planet. Let me say that again. This one microscopic life form produces more oxygen than all of the planet's tropical rainforests combined. Think about that. 1 out of every 5 breaths you take is a gift from a microscopic critter you've never seen, floating in an ocean that might be thousands of miles away. This tiny, life-giving engine was only discovered in 1988, but it's been silently pumping out the oxygen we need to survive for eons. We look at giant forests and call them the lungs of the planet. But it's the invisible, tireless work of trillions of microbes in the sea that truly lets us all breathe. Section 3. Time isn't a constant all right. Here's a rule we all live by. Time moves forward at the same rate for everyone. A second is a second, an hour is an hour. Right? Wrong. According to Albert Einstein, one of the greatest minds in history, time is not absolute at all. It's relative. Einstein's theory of relativity showed us that time can be warped in two strange ways. First, there's speed. The faster you fly through space, the slower you travel through time compared to someone standing still. And no, this isn't from a movie. It's a proven fact. Astronauts on the International Space Station, for example, zip around the Earth at 17,000 miles per hour. Because of that speed, they're aging just a tiny bit slower than the rest of us down on the ground. When they come home after 6 months, they are about 0.05 seconds younger than they would have been if they'd never left. The second thing that warps time is gravity. Einstein figured out that massive objects literally bend the fabric of space and time. The stronger the gravity, the more time slows down. This means that even your own head is technically aging faster than your feet, because your feet are closer to the Earth's gravitational pull. The effect is impossibly small, but it's real. For our GPS satellites, these two effects are in a constant tug-of-war. Their high speed slows their clocks down by about 7 microseconds a day, but being farther away from Earth's gravity speeds them up by 45 microseconds a day. The result? Their clocks run fast by about 38 microseconds daily. If engineers didn't constantly correct for this, your GPS would be off by more than 6 miles every single day. So, the same technology that helps you find the nearest coffee shop is actively proving that time isn't fixed at all. It's a flowing river that can be stretched and squeezed by gravity and speed. Section 4. Water's impossible state. We all learned this in school. What are the 3 states of matter? Solid, liquid, and gas. Water can be ice, it can be liquid, or it can be steam. But it can't be all 3 at the same time. Can it? That would violate a basic law of physics. Well, under a very specific, very weird set of conditions, water does exactly that. The phenomenon is called the triple point. It's the exact temperature and pressure where a substance's solid, liquid, and gas forms can all exist in perfect balance. For water, this happens at a very specific point, a temperature of almost exactly 0.01 degrees Celsius, and a pressure that is super low, less than 1% of the air pressure we feel every day. If you put some water in a vacuum chamber and dial in those conditions, you'll witness something that looks completely impossible. The water will start boiling violently, releasing vapor. At the same time, this rapid boiling cools the water so fast that it starts to freeze into ice. What you get is a bizarre, impossible sight. A container where you have solid ice, liquid water, and boiling vapor all at once. The water is literally boiling and freezing at the exact same moment. This isn't just some party trick. The triple point of water is so stable and easy to reproduce that it is used as the universal standard for defining the Kelvin, the base unit of temperature. It's a place where the familiar rules just don't apply. Section 5. The Cosmic Nomads. We have a pretty simple picture of how the universe is organized. Planets orbit stars. That's what a solar system is. But what if a planet didn't have a star? What if it was just wandering through the galaxy all by itself, lost in the cold, endless night between stars? These aren't just a theory. They're called rogue planets, and it turns out our galaxy is absolutely swarming with them. These are worlds that don't have a sun, drifting through the Milky Way like cosmic nomads. Scientists think they form in 2 main ways. Some were probably born in a normal solar system but got kicked out by the gravity of their bigger planetary siblings. Others might have just formed all alone in the dark, collapsing from a tiny wisp of gas and dust that wasn't big enough to become a star. For years, we had no way of knowing if they were out there. How do you spot a cold, dark planet against the blackness of space? The answer is a brilliant trick called gravitational microlensing. When one of these rogue planets happens to pass in front of a distant star, its gravity acts like a magnifying glass, making the star's light briefly brighten. By looking for these tiny temporary flickers of light, astronomers can find these invisible wanderers. And what they're finding is mind-boggling. Some estimates suggest there could be trillions of rogue planets in our Milky Way alone. They might outnumber planets orbiting stars by a lot, maybe 6 to 1, maybe even more. The number is so staggering it's hard to comprehend. This completely shatters our cozy picture of solar systems and reveals a galaxy haunted by countless lonely, wandering worlds. So, it turns out reality is a lot stranger, a lot more chaotic, and way more wonderful than we give it credit for. We've seen how most of the universe is an invisible ghost. The air we breathe comes from a microscopic ocean engine. Time itself bends and stretches. Water can boil and freeze simultaneously. And our galaxy is filled with lost worlds. The rules we thought were set in stone are really just waiting to be broken, revealing a universe that's more intricate and mysterious than we ever imagined. If your mind is blown and you want to keep questioning everything you thought you knew, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell. And let us know in the comments which of these facts shattered your worldview the most. Thanks for watching.